This is Richard Oswald. This is the managing partner of Grant Oswald and Company. This is the man who operated Bunce Island during its most profitable year. And Oswald understood that slaves from Sierra Leone, with their rice-growing talents, were very valuable in the colonies of South Carolina and Georgia. This is one of the advertisements placed in the newspaper in Charleston in the year 1760. And it advertised Africans being brought on the ship Bunce Island. And that's the name of the ship. It was owned by Oswald and his colleagues, just arrived from the Rice Coast. This Rice Coast word here, phrase, let the rice planters in South Carolina know that these people had rice-growing skills. And notice what it says, the names of the handlers, the representatives.
Your ancestor, who was named John Graham, who came from Africa, where? What state?
He actually came from Georgia, Savannah, Georgia, and he traveled up up northward and settled in Walterboro, South Carolina, and was a rice planter.
Now, when he was enslaved, though, he was in Georgia?
I'm not sure if he was enslaved. I'm assuming that he was because he was born in 1830. But his parents were from Georgia, and I know that at some point he moved to Walterboro, South Carolina.
Well, I mean, there could be a very direct link to Sierra Leone here, because if his name was John Graham, and he was from coastal Georgia, there was a famous John Graham, a white man, who was the lieutenant governor of Georgia at one point. He was a rice planter, but more importantly for us in Sierra Leone, John Graham was Bunce Island's agent in Savannah, Georgia. He received the slave ships from Bunce Island, advertised the human cargoes, sold people to local rice planters, and then paid the owners of Bunce Island for the sale of these people with rice that was produced there by enslaved people. And the thing is that if your ancestors were on a plantation owned by that John Graham, the chances of their having come from Sierra Leone and through Bunce Island are pretty great, or at least the chances of your having some ancestors that had that story are pretty great. So it's amazing that you're here, because that name John Graham has a direct connection to Bunce Island and to Sierra Leone.
Wow.
I'm still getting the goosebumps.
So I get somewhere I need to be.
Yeah, absolutely. You found an important beginning point, possibly.
Yes, yes. I'm entering the main gate of Bunce Island Castle. This is where the captives would be led into. I'm going to walk through, so follow me. So if I were a captive, I would be led through this main gate. Once in this gate, I would be in what is called the business center.
Yeah.
This is all up here. This is where they would do the negotiations and basically make bids on the slaves or the captives. If it were 1764, I would be led through here and probably looked at by white slave traders and considered, you know, they would do the negotiation and negotiate on prices. All of this area is the business center. The barracoons are basically two separate rooms, one for the men and one for the women. Here is a double gate. So this is one door.
For the men?
You can go to the men, which is over here. I'll let you get a peek. This door would close immediately And then they would enter the men's holding area. This space is very huge. Over there is where the slave traders or administrators would sit or stand and view the men sitting in the what looks like a courtyard. But out this door, so you come out of this door, leaving the slave barracoons. This door would still be locked because there are double doors here. And you'd go into the female slave barracoons. This is where I, of course, would be. This room is much smaller than the men's room because, of course, they wanted men who could work and people with strength, and I guess men had that strength back then. But this was for women and children.
Yeah, man.
But these brothers wouldn't be sitting here.
When I was marking me. Yes.
But I
See that what
get
you know
loaded
what?
onto this jetty.
Usman, you don't forget me.
And at the end of this jetty, there'd be a ship.
Well, tell them about say Usman call Usman over there. Look at that. Just tell them. Who's in you? You know, yeah, we will go for the left last
And I'd get onto the ship and go to South Carolina, North Carolina, Georgia, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, Connecticut, the New World,